Hello, my name is Mitya, and in this tutorial we're going to explain 2D projection mapping features that were introduced in Lightact version 3.06. I'll be using Unreal Engine as the source of my content. You already see that I've already enabled the integration between Lightact and Unreal. If you don't know how to do that, there's a separate series of tutorials just for that. So let's go back to Lightact. I have a basic setup already. I've got a layer which pulls the content from Unreal Engine. You can see it's done by a spout, and the spout listener node is connected to render to canvas node, and I've already have a canvas here. Now, one of the new features that's been introduced in 3.06 is that a projector can now pull content directly from a canvas. Before, you could only pull content from objects in the visualizer, which is great for 3D projection mapping workflow, but for 2D projection mapping, it's better to have it this way as well. So let's make sure that both projectors have our canvas set as the source. Great. And let's double click it here, and you see that one projector is already mapped to this place here, and the other one, if you double click it, it's going to automatically place the projector somewhere on the canvas, and let's make it like this for now. We're going to come back to this window in a bit, but now let's make sure that here where you see the two projectors, we'll actually see the texture from Lightact. So you do that in video output window. Now a brief explanation of the physical setup that I have here. I have two 960 by I think 540 projectors connected to a video splitter, which basically splits an incoming full HD signal to four 960 by 540 signals. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add both of the projectors to my output like so, and I'm going to leave the bottom half empty because that's how I have the projectors connected to the video splitter. Okay, so, and I'm going to bind them to here. Great, so now you see in my camera view that I've got that projectors are getting the content from Lightact, sorry. Okay, so let's go back to the canvas window. Or actually, it's much easier to do the projection mapping using one of the test image patterns that we have here. So let's type in the same resolution as what we are using in Unreal, 108 like this, and I'm going to type in this. So this node produces a testing pattern, which is great if you want to do projection mapping. Okay. Now here is this window, canvas setup window, has been completely reworked. Now you have three sections. On the left hand side, you have all the video screens and projectors that have this canvas set as the source. Here you can place the you can map the content that's going to go to this projector like so, and here you've got all the warps and soft edges that we're going to talk about in a bit. Now first, let's make sure that the projectors have the content set up correctly. I'm going to move this to 0, 0, and I'm going to, if I hold shift, by the way, the aspect ratio is locked when you drag the handle. Okay, and let's move this one to the edge like so, and make it a bit bigger. And yeah, if you hold shift while dragging, of course you move it in an orthogonal fashion. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is, of course, that no content is getting cut like so. That would mean that the content is getting cut or cropped. And now what we need to do is we need to make sure that the content is approximately lined up. We can do the fine tuning afterwards, but you see that here I've got the column 7, which is approximately lined up, and I need to move it a bit down like so. That's almost close enough. So now let's do the warping. So I double click it, which means that on the right hand side, where all the warping and soft edge blending and color correction is done, this projector will be edited. So I zoom in and let's do the warping, and I see the handles here. By the way, you have all the shortcuts here. If you hover above, there's a lot of shortcuts that should enable you to speed up the workflow. So I'm going to use the perspective. There are two types of handles. One is the perspective, which are indicated by the inverted color of the video screen. You see, every video screen has its edit color, so it's easier for you to recognize which one is which. So the handles that actually do the warping are in edit color, and the perspective ones, which move all of them if you drag the perspective one, are indicated with inverted colors. So let's undo all of this. Great. And there's one other thing. For example, if you want to there are two types. One is the linear and the other one is non-linear. Non-linear is great if you have curved surfaces. We don't have that, so we don't need that. We actually, since I'm using a flat wall, I'm projecting on a flat wall, we could have actually eliminated all the inner points, because all we need is the perspective. The other thing is, if you press R, which enables render helpers, you actually see the you can see that on my webcam, unfortunately, but all the actually you can, all the points are visible on the output. So even actually the mouse is visible as well, so that makes it much easier for you to do projection mapping in some cases. And there's one other thing, which is called enable grab area. You can enable it also by pressing G, and if you press Alt, you see what grab area is. So grab area will move several points together in a proportional way, which could come handy as well. So you can also use these text boxes to increase or decrease the grab area. Okay, so let's do that, and I'm going to, just for the fun of it, I'm going to leave 4x4, even though I don't actually need them. Okay, so let's make I'm going to disable grab area because I don't need that. And let's make sure that the projection on the webcam view here is parallel. Okay, so that looks more or less fine. This is the easiest projection mapping possible, just a flat screen, basically a flat wall, and and just two projectors. So okay, edit warp. Great, let's move this one a bit like so, and let's go back to that one and move that one a bit so we have the row 7 lined up, and let's move that one as well, like so. And I think we need to do this a bit as well. Also, if you have one of the points selected, you can also use arrow keys to line up to move the point. That's good enough. Okay, now let's go to the soft edge. For me, the easiest way to do soft edge blending is to have all the projectors output white. You right click somewhere here, or actually even here, and regardless of the warping, the output is going to be turned white. Great, and now what we can do is do the soft edge blending. As you can see on the webcam view, for me the easiest way is this, for some reason, and like so. Okay, that's close enough for now. Let's make sure that both projectors are outputting our content. If you are using two different projectors which have some kind of a color shift, you can use the color correction as well. As you can see here, we don't need that right now, so the only thing that's left for us to do is to go back to the layer, and instead of the test image, we can output the Unreal Engine. So so now you see that I've got a that Unreal Engine texture is being projected to the screen using two projectors. And please note that the lag that you see on the webcam viewer is due to the webcam itself. In reality, there is actually no lag between the Unreal Engine and the projection itself.